Cotton. Senator, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Bret.
I want to start with that last piece about Russia. You put out a statement on Thursday saying President Biden is giving a gift to Vladimir Putin by unconditionally extending the New START treaty after 4 years of unfounded hysterical attacks on President Trump and chest thumping about Russia. It appears that President Biden and the Democrats have immediately reverted to their old, weak, dovish ways. He is calling on Russia to release Navalny, among other things. You're saying this is not good enough as far as Russia policy.
Well, Bret, words are nice, and Russia should release Mr. Navalny. But the number one priority for Vladimir Putin was a unconditional extension of the New START treaty, because that treaty favors Russia. It does not cover the vast arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons that Russia has, or some of its novel delivery systems like undersea delivery systems or nuclear-powered cruise missiles and hypersonic glide vehicles. That's why Vladimir Putin wanted it extended without condition. It is also a bilateral treaty at a time when China's growing nuclear arms threaten to overmatch the United States when combined with Russia and their nuclear arms. I don't understand why Joe Biden would have given Vladimir Putin exactly what he wanted on his first full day in office without demanding significant concessions in return.
So you're saying he's soft on Russia?
Well, again, the Democrats have a long history, going back to the Cold War and the Soviet incarnation of Russia, of being very dovish when it comes to dealing with Moscow. Now, for 4 years, they beat their chests like Jack Ryan and other Cold Warriors as if they were the only ones who would stand up to Vladimir Putin, when in fact the Trump administration had a much tougher line on Russia than previous administrations of both parties. Now, Joe Biden comes into office, and the very first thing he does is grant an unconditional extension of a one-sided arms treaty. It's very disappointing, and it will endanger our national security in the long run.
Senator, let's talk about impeachment. The article of impeachment will be walked over to your side of the Capitol tonight, and then it starts February 8th. Your thoughts about where things stand and what should be happening?
Well, Bret, you're right that the House managers will present the article of impeachment tonight. Senators will be sworn in tomorrow. Then we'll take a brief pause for a couple of weeks so the president's legal team can prepare his defense, something they were denied in the House, a chance for a fair hearing and due process. I don't think this trial, though, is within the Senate's constitutional authority. The impeachment power is designed to convict and remove office holders from office. The Constitution explicitly says it applies to the president, the vice president, and civil officers. Now, Donald Trump is none of those. He is a private citizen, and I think most Americans are going to think by the middle of February it's very strange that the Senate is spending its time trying to convict and remove from office a man who left office almost a month ago. There are many other pressing priorities on which we could be focused.
How many Republicans do you think at the end of this will vote to convict?
Bret, I can't speak for my fellow Republicans, but I can say that more and more have told me as they've studied the matter, they've come around to my view of things as I announced the day the House impeached the president, is that this is beyond the constitutional authority of the Senate to conduct a trial to convict and remove from office a man who left office last week.
You know, the man who left office did tweet about you and suggested a number of people would get primaried coming up if they didn't stand with the president in this impeachment mess. He tweeted out on January 4th, before the incidents on January 6th, mentioning you in particular. What do you think about the political power of now former President Trump?
Well, Bret, I declined to try to overturn the results of the presidential election when Congress met to count electoral votes on January 6th for the same reason I don't think Congress should proceed with this impeachment trial. I am standing up to the Constitution. Fidelity to the Constitution has to be our lodestar at all times. And just like it's beyond Congress's power to reverse the results of the Electoral College, it's beyond our power to proceed with an impeachment proceeding after the impeached official has left office. I don't think so much about the politics of this question as faithfulness to the Constitution.
Yeah, but I'm asking you a political question as far as the political power of Donald Trump and possibly even Trump supporters, and how much that factors into your party going forward.
Well, the president is still very popular with Republicans across the country, and he has said he wants to stay engaged in politics as the former president. I would say, though, that if you try to do the right thing, and especially if you try to uphold the Constitution, the chips will usually fall in the right way when it comes to the politics.
But January 6th, you've spoken out about that, and what happened? Did you believe President Trump incited that mob?
Bret, the president called forth a crowd on January 6th, and for many weeks he had been saying that there was some chance to reverse the results of the election and extend to him a second term. That simply wasn't going to happen. Now, the main people who are responsible for the mob that attacked the Capitol were the violent members of that mob, who are facing significant jail time now and arrests are ongoing. Those are the main people who are responsible for the violence that we had at the Capitol.
Senator, I just have a few seconds left, but I do want to try to give you an opportunity to straighten something out. Were you straightforward with voters about your military service? You're a decorated veteran, but there's a couple of stories popping up about you saying that you were an Army Ranger.
Yeah, thanks, Bret. I graduated from the Ranger School. I wore the Ranger tab in combat with the 101st Airborne in Iraq. This is not about my military record. This is about my politics. Ranger Regiment legends like General Scotty Miller or General Craig Nixon have used the term to describe both alumni of the Ranger Regiment and graduates of the Ranger School, as did the Secretary of the Army, as did most of my buddies in the Army, as did most of the liberal media until a conservative veteran was using the term in that way. But if some people disagree, that's fine. I respect their views, but what's most important, I respect the service of all Rangers and indeed all soldiers who volunteered to serve our country.
Well, thank you for your service, and I wanted to give you a chance to clear that up. Senator, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Bret.